We're the place where we take source materials, could be anything, dialogues, papers, complex articles, and we really dig in to find the actionable knowledge you can use.
Yeah, the practical stuff. And today, we're tackling something pretty universal, that first day experience.
Right, the first day.
Yeah,
Stepping into somewhere totally new, maybe it's high school, could be university, even a new job sometimes.
exactly. And it's always this mix, isn't it? A bit of excitement, maybe quite a bit of nervousness, too. It's kind of a high-stakes social moment.
Definitely. And the real question is always, how do you actually connect? How do you break the ice, but, quickly and without feeling totally awkward?
Authentically, yeah.
So our source material today is, well, it's quite straightforward on the surface. It's an English learning dialogue.
Between two students, Tom and Sarah, it's their first day at a new high school, and we also have the vocabulary breakdown that goes with it.
But our goal here isn't just like translating words.
No, not at all. We want to reverse engineer the strategy. What are the actual social moves they're making? The phrases, the cues. How do they go from strangers to, well, allies planning lunch?
We're looking at this dialogue almost like a blueprint for making a connection. So let's jump right in. It starts with Sarah. She makes the first move.
And it's crucial how she does it. She doesn't just say hi. She asks, "Hi, are you new here too?"
That word too is doing a lot of work there, isn't
Well,
it?
absolutely. It's brilliant. She's not just asking about him. She's instantly signaling, "Hey, I'm in the same boat." Shared vulnerability right off the bat.
It makes it safer for him to answer, yeah. Like if he wasn't new, it wouldn't be as awkward because she's already put herself out there.
Exactly. It minimizes the social risk. And we know from, well, studies on this stuff, that shared difficulty, even just mild awkwardness,
Yeah.
it builds rapport incredibly fast.
So Tom responds. He confirms, yeah, I am. It's my first day. Pretty clear.
And then the standard politeness. Nice to meet you. Basic, but it establishes that baseline of friendly intent. They've kind of created a little safe zone.
Then they move to shared observation. Sarah says, this school is so big. Which, is probably true for most newcomers.
And Tom's reply, "This is a key phrase you should absolutely steal." I know, right?
Haha. Yeah, it's so common now, but it works.
It's more than just agreeing. It's like instant validation. Yes, your feeling is correct, and I feel it too. It's a shortcut to sounding casual and connected. Skips a lot of formal steps.
Okay, so things are going well. But then, interestingly, a problem pops up almost immediately.
Which is actually great for the conversation. Tom admits he got lost.
Right, trying to find the cafeteria. He shows a little bit of, harmless confusion.
Perfect. This gives Sarah the chance to step up, to provide actual immediate help. She shifts from just chatting to being useful.
And she uses those key little phrases. Oh, I think it's that way. Then come on, I'll show you.
Yeah, see, that way gives direction. Come on is the friendly nudge to action. And I'll show you is the crucial part. She's guiding him, actively helping.
It's proactive. And Tom's response, that would be great, isn't just polite manners, it seals the deal. They now have a shared task, get to the cafeteria.
That shared movement, heading towards a goal together, even a simple one like lunch, that really solidifies the connection. If he hadn't admitted he was lost, maybe they'd just say, "Nice meeting you," and drift apart.
That vulnerability, even minor, kept it going.
Definitely.
Okay, so they're walking. The conversation shifts slightly, more towards logistics now. Sarah says, no problem when Tom thanks her.
Yeah, no problem, Art. No worries. It's just a smooth, modern way to accept thanks. And then she immediately asks, "So what class are you going to next?"
Good move. It shows the connection isn't just about the getting lost incident. It has legs. She's looking ahead.
Right. She solved problem A, smoothly handled the thank you, and pivots straight to problem B, the schedule. And the script notes Tom says, while checking.
Which is great. That little, it sounds so real.
It does. In actual conversations, those fillers, they're important signals. They mean, hang on, I'm processing, not I'm ignoring you. Adds that touch of authenticity.
Prevents it sounding like they're reading lines.
Exactly. So turns out, happy coincidence, they both have English next with Miss Davis. Sarah spots this.
And she uses it to propose a plan. Maybe we can walk there together after lunch.
This is their first concrete agreement for future interaction. It extends the connection beyond the immediate moment.
And Tom's response, another great informal phrase. That would be awesome.
Yeah, it just injects enthusiasm. It's not just, okay, it's, yes, I'd really like that. It lifts the energy.
Before they fully lock that in, though, Tom asks something else, kind of strategic.
He asks, "So are the teachers nice here?"
Which seems simple, but it's really about gauging the environment, isn't it? Like, is this place okay? Am I going to be okay here?
Precisely. It's a proxy for safety and support. And Sarah gives him useful info. She uses a few good adjectives.
Right. Most are friendly, she says. And specifically, Miss Davis is great and very helpful.
Notice the difference there. Friendly is about attitude, helpful is about action. It tells Tom what he can actually expect in terms of support, real data points for him.
And this leads right into him sharing a deeper concern.
Yeah, the emotional core. He says, I was a little worried about my English. He names his main anxiety.
This is where Sarah's response is just, well, perfect relationship building. She doesn't just brush it off.
No, she gives him this fantastic principle. Don't worry, everyone is here to learn.
That line does so much. It acknowledges his feeling it's okay to be worried, but it reframes the whole situation.
Exactly. It's not a competition, it's a learning zone. We're all in this together. It shifts the focus beautifully.
And Tom's reply, that makes me feel better, shows it landed. It worked. They haven't just solved a map problem, they've eased an emotional one.
Huge step in building trust. If you look at the flow, shared vulnerability solved a practical problem, now shared emotional reassurance. That's a solid foundation.
Okay, so the trust is there. Now they move into that more classic getting to know you stuff. Tom asks the standard question, so where are you from?
Right, Sarah gives her story. She moved here from another city over the summer. Pretty typical for a new student.
But Tom's answer adds this really interesting layer, especially thinking about our theme.
It does. He says, I have lived here my whole life. You'd think that makes him the expert, the local.
But then he immediately adds that because he went to a different middle school, everything is new for me here too.
That's fascinating, isn't it? He could have positioned himself as the knowledgeable one. Instead, he chooses to double down on the shared newness. He labels himself as new in this context.
Strategically, what does that do for the conversation?
It keeps them on equal footing, it reinforces the bond, and Sarah gets it instantly. Her response is, oh, I see. She understands his specific situation.
And because that shared ground is so firm now, she can make that really kind, open offer.
Yes, the classic, wonderful offer. If you need anything, just let me know.
Just let me know. It's so simple, but it's like the language of future help without any pressure.
Exactly. It's an open door, not an obligation. Low pressure, high value.
Tom then closes the loop on the help she already gave. You've been really helpful, acknowledging the value received.
And Sarah uses another one of those great casual closers. No worries. Just easy, informal, like no problem. The whole vibe is just comfortable now.
So they've navigated the awkwardness, built some trust, handled logistics. Now they just need to finalize the immediate plan. Lunch.
Tom suggests it. Maybe we can sit together at lunch. Notice maybe we can still quite gentle, not demanding.
And Sarah's right there with sure. And she adds why. I'm getting hungry. Makes it relatable, human.
And then Tom's final line is great. It kind of acknowledges the journey they've just been on.
Me too. Lead the way.
Yeah, lead the way. He's basically saying, okay, I trust you to guide me now. It started with him being lost, and now he's willingly following her lead. Shows how much trust they built.
It's a full circle in just a few minutes of conversation. From uncertain strangers to lunch buddies with a plan.
Vulnerability, problem-solving, reassurance, planning, all packed in there.
So pulling this apart for you, the listener, what are the big takeaways when you're the one in that new situation? First off, that opening question matters. Don't just talk about the weather.
Right. Find that shared context. Something like, are you new here too? Or is this your first time at this kind of event? Establishing that shared vulnerability is huge.
And remember that quick validation. Phrases like, I know, right? They just accelerate things, make people feel heard immediately.
And don't shy away from offering or accepting small practical help. If someone looks lost, come on, I'll show you. It's incredibly powerful. It creates instant value.
Builds that little bit of positive debt, which is good for connection. And have those easygoing phrases ready. No problem. No worries.
And definitely, if you need anything, just let me know. Keep that door open for future interaction. It signals openness without being cushy.
But maybe the biggest insight here, the one to really chew on, comes from Tom.
Yeah, the fact that he'd lived there his whole life, but still framed himself as new in that high school setting. He chose the vulnerability of being a learner.
So here's the thought to leave you with. If newness, that feeling of uncertainty and needing a bit of help, is actually a common experience, even for people who seem like they should know their way around,
Yeah.
How should that change your mindset?
Right. If even the quote-unquote locals might feel new or need to ask questions in a specific situation, what does that tell you about how okay it is for you to be vulnerable, to ask for directions, or to start that conversation when you're genuinely in a new place? Maybe being new is the most relatable state of all.